And now I request Dr. Manoj. I'm sure all of you know him. He's from InfluMnet. Just a minute. Okay. Dr. Manoj.
Good morning, everybody, and respected Chair, Professor Lakshman Rao, sir, and the other distinguished panelists on the chair and the galaxy of the professionals sitting here. I should confess I am little out of context to stand here listening to the three other speakers. Maybe Professor Dr. Akhtar is very clever, wise to organize the stage in such a way. You put the three ground realities, the people working with the public libraries and children in the ground level in one side, and the other side now I have to start the academic area, which is as compared to public library. We are all from academic libraries, and the happy feeling is that you balanced both by putting a chairman in the right place, Professor Lakshman Rao. Very strong to balance both ends. And I find it very difficult to connect to now the academic library from your point of view, which you are very impressive work all three of you are doing, which I should confess that I never come across with many of your activities in past. And
Rao is bridging the divide.
Yeah, he's really bridging the divide. I am very happy and glad to be on this panel, because that's what I was thinking, that now I was completely confused to where to start if I talk about InfluMnet, as he mentioned, totally out of context. So let me give justice to the talk. Yesterday, you remember that I was keeping quiet, and sometime Professor Jayarajan immediately put a question that, how many of you feel next to 25 years the public library will disappear? Unfortunately, there was one hand, that was mine. And that is how I felt it when he asked it. 25 years, he put very cleverly that if you are asking in future, I could have just keep quiet. But 25 years, because who is an astrologer to predict the future for next year? Did anybody predicted that 20 years this ICT is going to revolutionize the all aspect of life? Did you expect that you will be looking at least 5 times in 1 minute into your mobile phone to get the update? This happened in last 20 years. For next 20 years is very unpredictable. But I raised my hand with this title. If public library is not gearing up to meet the challenges of the present, especially from the area of ICT, then there is a chance that public library will be a thing of past. It cannot remain as it is. Can I ask a question to the audience? How many of you are having a good feeling when I am asking public library that yes, it's an ambience, and so I would like, yes, I can go and I can sit and I get rejuvenated in public libraries. In fact, my childhood was energized, rejuvenated, and perhaps if I am standing here as a speaker for this conference, the platform where I started is public library, my village library, where I could get the newspaper, at least 3 variations to read, try to understand what is happening. So that was the public library for me, years back. Now, I'm just taking you, nothing to talk in technical, just taking to some visuals. Keep this picture in mind. Different gadgets, various gadgets which is influencing the life. That's why the 3 people even the name is Kahani, but you will see the Google Play Store application to download your mobile. So that is the bridge which they try to address. And the gadgets, a picture of public library. And if I'm really seeing, I just want to take some of these pictures. Exotic. It looks like a temple. I don't know, sir, but sir, you have visited France. Lakshman Rao might have gone this library, BNF library in France. This is a library building. I have captured only 2. There are 2 more buildings in the same 24-storied building dedicated only to public library. That's France is not such a country known for public library movement. But the biggest, and I will tell you that if anybody goes to France, you will see the top 5 places to visit in the tourist map is the public library. This is inside how it appears. Got a chance to visit there. Another library, Alexandria, which is stocked, and the changes happening in this library from Dublin Core, which you know that the standards the library look like. If I don't put the library in all the slide and showing the picture, I'm very sure that you will get it confused with an exotic building, or a monument, an architecture, an exhibition hall. Florence, Australian National Library, Boston Public Library, Venice, and the recent last year I visited here, Library of Congress, picture captured by me live. What I just want to tell you that now come back to the public library which you have in your mind. That is the difference.
No, you can't compare India with the American and Western world.
I'm not comparing, sir. I'm telling that these are called public libraries.
This library was supposed to be closed in 2016.
16.
It was saved by some of the intellectuals.
Right.
This library, New
This
York
library.
Public Library,
Yes.
2016 it was supposed to be closed because there was a lot of pressure from the people, commercial people. So it is located at a business center.
Business center near to that your
Yes.
building, and I went there. The
Economically,
library
it's not viable.
put-
So it should be closed.
closed.
But the people stopped it.
Yes.
But they have a different cultural setup. They have a
Can I have the discussion later, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
But you
At
can't,
at the end of it, we will have this discussion.
can't compare with India. That is
This
not-
is another library, public library, which which we at least know in India, Anna Centenary Library. And if I go with your statement, there was a closer, not only there, even British Library, the biggest the library membership which I carried as a privilege for me when I was studying in Trivandrum. There was a threat for closure for that, which we discussed yesterday. And this is another library which I, at least in modern times, I like to be there. There is a floor dedicated completely to children. So this is not a comparison. I should apologize to you if you understand that I'm trying to compare it. I showed that what is public library across world, just to show that. And why don't we, and how to get to this kind of concept to our public library. This is a humble opinion suggestion from my side. And those who are policy makers, I just gap it that Baroda, the library movement started from Baroda. If you still go, the palace is still there, an exotic building. If we could have looked at as a library building, the things should have been changed. We should have an equal picture to place with that. There are similar buildings in many of the states which either been neglected or the library is also part of many of the buildings, but that is not being given prominence. And this. From here, I will go to that other second aspect from academic side. So I just want to highlight on all the slides with one thing that infrastructure ambience make any place to sustain for long. If the infrastructure and ambience is good, the people will be attracted. Like one thing I told, that tourist place. So the best public library should be made as a tourist place in the locality. And how we can do that? That is the question. And I don't have solution how to do it, but how we can go about it. That's second one, ICT, second aspect of it point. This has been revolutionizing library concept now. Those who are teaching library, those who are learning library, ICT has completely changed and how this directly played a role rather than computer came and automation came and digitization. When I am asking about computerization or modernization in library, 2 points I highlight. One is that automation of libraries. The second one is digitization. If these two are implemented in any library, yes, the ICT has already entered into library. Now, question comes, sir, again. I want to open debate on this. How many public libraries in India?
See, there is
If-
no figure.
There is no right figure, correct figure.
Yes, sir.
All conflicting figures.
All guesswork.
Now, I will tell you, sir, why there is no concrete figure he was mentioning, but we have seen 70,000 public libraries in the video created by them. I said, but this 70,000 may not be right. Again, if you are talking academic library, I can count. This is one library, this is library, university library, 750 university libraries, 45,000 college libraries, 9 lakh school libraries. I have figure, census figure. But public library, again, is not defined. It could be a library which is open for 16 hours. It could be a library in village which open only for 3 hours in the evening. Both are called public libraries. Now, when we are mentioning public library as a common term, the gap comes there between this 3 hours library where a temporary staff is managing without any payment. And also, if I go with the registered figures in the Rajaram Mohan Rai, which I could associate in the year 2005. Lakshman Rao sir, did you remember that we were all there 3 days in Hyderabad, CCMB, giving a shape to Indian library system and submitted a document to the Honorable Prime Minister, part of National Knowledge Commission. And I should start from that charter. If people are here, gathered here and working in the library system and people, I should request you that kindly see the library charter, which has been devised in the year 2005 and 6, submitted to government, and National Mission on Library created with this concept. How ICT, libraries, public library can have hand in hand with the support of the private parties in the mode of PPP. And there is a gap now. People are working independently. But if putting together, that is what was that National Knowledge Commission's report, Working Group on Libraries report, which suggested National Mission on Libraries. Professor was taking yesterday. They tried to create something called National Virtual Library of India. But it did not happen. The project is ending to close now. In fact, yes, sir.
This National Virtual Library of India.
Yeah.
If you see the Gazette notification of National Mission on Library, dated 12th May 2012, there is no virtual library. This was the invention of the chairman who had a very single-track mind, Professor Deepak Pental.
Yes.
He repeatedly said it should be,
Virtual
library should be created. But the original document of the National Mission Library, there is no virtual library.
Yes.
But public library definitely is a part, public-private partnership. But nothing is happening,
But
only the virtual
libraries are. And InfluMnet associated with selecting 2,000 public library professionals to train in the modern, and we have the training for NML libraries for that, where this is highlighted. But you can't see a portal which represent except from NML website, which is done. But we have something called, there are various initiatives goes on, National Digital Library, NTL is there, which become popular. So we asked that why should we have when NTL is there? Why should be another library to be created? That's okay, sir. It's to question number. So coming to this next area, web. All of you are using website? Do you know that your website from the static mode of 1.0, which we told is changed to 2.0? I have some pictures which I will not explain now. And web 1.0 to 2 came with an interactive mode. This happened in last maximum 5 years, not more than that. How many of you heard about this something which I listed, Flipkart, Make My Trip, Redbus, 5 years back? That means web become interactive, and the technical term is web 2.0. We don't have time to that in panel to discuss more on that. So web become 1.0 to 2.0. 2.0 has completely changed the web interaction in both ways. Interactive web, I should say. So interactive web gave the concept of all this travel, tourism, business, education. If everything is going interactive mode, you have OLX also now to sell old products. Old books also you can sell it now. All this came in the part of the Web 2 interaction 2.0 technically. And same concept is borrowed into library, which uses library 2.0. Now, this was a talk address to library. I wanted to talk to the next generation librarian, which we call it as Library 2.0. Interactive librarian. You give the content on interactive mode, whether it is mobile, iPad, or whatever it is. And because the next generation is going to be generation 2.0. You don't need to teach them how to use computer, how to use mobile phone, how to use an application, how to download, how to read a book. So book from the physical form should appear into the format which they are looking into, next generation. We will be the last generation who will be reading from paper, most probably. After 10, 15 years, we will not see that people are using paper to read. Instead of that, they will all, Kindle and all this kind of device will be preferred. So this concept should be kept in mind while redesigning anything, even public library. Web 2.0 plus library equal to 2.0 library. This is part of your 3 talks, so I will not come to that. Data literacy, what public libraries can do. There are 3 products which Preetham Books and Devert Kahani and all that they discuss, which can go rightly into this kind of format, where the public library becomes the community center for interaction. People come there, sit there, work there, create content. And one lacuna which I find it that we are not creating content, except the few people who are engaged on that. Why don't we choose the community center as the knowledge creation center? So content means every village should be having some kind of expertise. I know that my carpenter in my area, he can even predict the place where water can be available 10 feet down or 20 feet down. I don't know what technique he used. Nothing scientific on that. Documents, knowledge, e-learning modules, videos, animations, storybooks, audiobooks, everything will be searched in a single interface rather than going, public library, that is the issue. We go with the catalog. And catalog is going to disappear. Instead of that, it will be one search to get any of the information they are looking for it. So this concept of National Digital Library is which harvest all content, including what I'm talking about, InfluMnet, Shodh Ganga and all that, which is already part of this. They have harvested and it is part of that. One library for India. That is the concept, where the content from various locations from the public libraries should come and integrate. This should be worked as a single harvesting. It could be National Library or anything else. And we have tried to be partner for this. The untapped or the library theses which are available in universities, try to digitize, part of a different program by UGC. And see the figure now. I'll tell you that if I have a gadget of a mobile phone with me, I have access to 1,77,000 theses I'm talking. These are not the storybook. Thesis in attempts, the high reviewed, referred, awarded thesis with a lot of 4 or 5 years of work. And the publication of that is digitized. And this is the figure. You will see that 2 lakh theses freely available on open access. So the integration should have, starting from storybook towards the research capital or research asset of our country in one place. And tell your students or small student, here it is available from everything, storybooks to research content. And we are not talking about special academic libraries now. So that is one initiative. And you have open access based resources. So many resources are there. I just skip it. And this is what is that library creative space you are trying to create yesterday. Data visualization center, knowledge market space, hybrid space for both. And something which I find, sir, I don't know whether you again agree with that. In one of the rooms, reading rooms in BNF, which is all as small as this room, I have a coffee vending machine with the 10 flavor of coffees available in the reading room. One reading room I'm taking, every reading room that. This is something which we should do. I can't go out for a coffee when I am very much into reading. So I will go to the vending machine and put some coin, take the coffee. This is not a magic I'm asking that. And this kind of at least.
You said vending machine, tea is waiting outside.
Now we have to go outside. If it is a vending machine, we come. I feel to take a cup. We don't feel to take tea uniquely at the same time. I may take 15 minutes back. I should have taken a tea. I come, I pick up. And that happens in front of a conference. Such kind of freedom space should be created on that. So he has already reminded about tea. I will skip it now, the technical part of it, which I also feel to take. But these trends are happening. When I'm telling ICT trends, you have Google has come out with Scholar, Google has come out with books, Now Google has 100 applications. Some of the application may be useful for the pupil. And I do feel that with the Aadhaar card which we are using, we should not have membership card in libraries. Sir, this is my personal opinion. We should not have membership card to libraries. In 3-4 years, your Aadhaar card become the membership card. When you use it, why should? And we are spending so much time for renewal of membership and all. Aadhaar card, just Aadhaar card is there. You have the code, enter it, get the book. And so that becomes a unique identifier for that. So all this should be integrated together. And this was, our chairman was mentioning when he was talking, if you search anything in Google, Google become because the one-stop solution for everything. Is it?
No.
Every people, if you ask any student now, the first one, Google. Google become God for people now. Now, in that context, I took this knowledge management in libraries, and he was telling 50 lakhs. So my figure was much more than that. What was that? See, 100 crore hits on management, 73.
What is that, 73 crore?
The hit number of links available for the subject in Google. My life is not sufficient to only go to the homepage of all link. And this is the topic which I tried to search. Even I put knowledge management in libraries in quotes, still it is 110 million links are there. And my habit is not more than 2 pages I go. First page, second page, third page. And Google has their own algorithm to display the links in the first page. I will not comment on that. If you want to read Google Bomb. What is Google Bomb? Google can be manipulated to put the link in the home page. That technique is called Google Bombs. Just read it. And we are in this information pollution area, even in Google, because you have so much, but you don't know what to do with that. That is what is polluted. So in that context, I request public library should be the first position, first place to go and direct the people that were to get the information. So the public library as a learning resource center with the book, consulting, conference, discussion, reference, institutional repositories, and everything should publish. And the other concept was digital learning, which was introduced. Yes, learning is happening in e-mode now. And if you have this knowledge accumulated from all libraries and networked, the knowledge networking of our country will happen with the prominent public libraries. So when I'm mentioning public library, take it as 8 hours library. And let us start with state, national library, state library, district libraries. 700 plus district libraries will be there. And this is what is happening now. And I don't have any solution for that, where the knowledge is accumulated or where the libraries are working. This is the figure, public. For academic, you have this many libraries, school and college libraries. But that's other, not from academic. You can narrow down to 20 lakhs people who are into a real academic field. What about the rest of the people? For them.
What is the source of this data?
Sir, it is from UGC website.
UGC.
Yeah, MHRD. This is the figure. This 553 is updated again. It is touching 800 now. And this from NAC also you will get this. We follow this figure. This is an authenticated figure from InfluMac to show that. Okay. Now, eGyan Ghosh, this kind of NPTEL, you know that video contents are coming. All these are, what I want to tell, these are all free resources, open resources, no registration required. Only awareness is to be created to the pupil. So they don't need to go to the bookshelf to write a book. Instead of that, library can guide them, go here for this. Thesis, Shodh Ganga. For technical videos, understanding about some NPTEL videos. For any book you are searching where it is available, National Digital Library. This should be arranged in a manner so that public can easily with. So, Swayam, these are some of the activities. MOOC-based course India is launching. So please keep watch on this. I will not comment on that now too much.
Lots of things are there.
Lot of things are there. So I just navigate it and finally finish it off. We have started with NKC recommendations and that NML which I mentioned. So we have taken some of the project under that to give a shape from our whatever available budget or whatever is our mandate, which we have taken. And the ultimate aim is open access, means it is not for academic. Once I mention open access, it is for public. So anything which become public, it will flourish, not perish. So we have this red color resources are public access resources. I should say that open access resources. ICSSR data service, Shodh Ganga, Shodh Gangotri, this is PhD thesis. EPG Padashala is the video tutorials. Swayam are the MOOC based courses. Vidyamitra is the federated search among all institutions repositories. So that's all, sir, and I will keep quiet. I will keep on this slide. We are coming with the Google Glass, which can help you to read. Virtual reality, you put it in that you are in library. The test can scroll down there. You will not see anything but except the book scrolling out. These kind of technologies are which you can look into that with that limit. And one is that the lacuna is multilingual support, which you have told the Hindi and all books. Preetham also is working on that. This is one of the wide gap which we should cover to reach into the people. Tomorrow you will see library on cloud. Once library is on cloud, public library as an institution or infrastructure will not remain. I'm not cynic. I'm very infrastructure. If you have right infrastructure, ambience, technology, digital content, collection and content created, the outreach to the public, then public library future is still bright. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavan.
Thank you, Professor Lakshman Rao Garu. Sir, just to set the context right, I'm here also as Vishnuvardhan, of course, as CEO of NTR Trust. But Ravi was telling me who has invited me from DEF, to be more in here and speak in the capacity of the country level head or director for Indian language Wikipedias, which was my earlier job 2.5 years ago. I led the growth of Indian language Wikipedias for about 3 years. And also previously in Tata Trust, where I was responsible for the arts and culture program, where we worked with a lot of libraries, archives, galleries, and museums. And the topic that I was asked to speak on is challenges in accessing digital content in the languages other than English. That is all Indian languages or all world languages. Urdu ki zuban ho ya Hindi ho, or otherwise మన తెలుగులో ఇంటర్నెట్లో కంటెంట్ ఏ విధంగా మనం యాక్సెస్ చేయొచ్చు, దానికి సంబంధించిన సాధ్యాసాధ్యాలు ఏంటి. Urdu also, because the world is turning into the digital era, as the earlier speaker from Trivandrum has told us from InflibNet. So I'll stick to this topic, and though I've been an academician, I'm no more an academician. I will talk about my last 15 years journey of trying to work with Indian language content and trying to make it digitally accessible. So I'll try and give some examples of what we have done and try and connect it to the libraries and the librarians. Most of you are. But before that, sir, just wanted to set the context right. And before that, I want to thank IPLM and DEF and Manu for hosting this wonderful conference and for giving me an opportunity to talk to you. It's always a pleasure to talking to librarians. I've trained a lot of librarians in Goa and various other places as part of the refresher course. So it's always a pleasure to interact and meet the librarians. I think you are that force that doesn't get enough recognition in the society, and I truly believe that. So coming back to the topic, challenges in accessing digital content in languages other than English. That is, how do we make Indian language content digitally accessible? What has been the journey? So if you all remember, 15-20 years ago, when computers, internet started becoming popular, all of us had to install fonts, right? Windows didn't have your Telugu font, Urdu font was not there, right? Publishers started inventing their own font, like Telugu, the very popular font is Anu font. And Urdu, there was a very popular font. Who invented these fonts? like how when the printing technology became popular, we are all product of the printing technology, right? Became popular in 1890. If you go back to the print history in India, the publishers, the people who are printing books and newspapers, started importing fonts from Germany and other things. The printing presses, those big ones. You had imported fonts to print magazines like Hyderabad. Some of those old newspapers, they imported the Urdu fonts to put it in the press, even to do the Pelli Patrikal Chayalana gani, even to do the wedding cards, you had to use those fonts, then cyclostyle machines. That's how the industry happened. When the internet, when the computers, the digital technology started becoming popular, we all Indian languages went through this struggle of trying to create fonts. Why? Because 90% of the content, 95% of the content on the internet, right, or in the computers that you could see, was all English. You want to write a research article about, duodecimal system of cataloging. Where is the content knowledge available? It's only available in English, right? Any topic that you take, isn't it? Now, after a lot of struggle in the last 15 years, I can tell you, currently, I'm not saying we are in a great state, but slowly we have reached a stage where there is decent amount of digital content available in Telugu and other Indian languages, Urdu, Hindi, Marathi, you take any languages. Now, what has happened in this 15 years for these changes? What were some of the mistakes? Because as librarians, you need to really, really understand this. Then I'll try and connect it to how do we connect this with the public library networks, or as librarians, what could we do? First thing, when people started inventing fonts, they invented it for themselves, not for everyone. So Anu font, if you bought Anu font, only you could use Anu font. You are using, let us say, Potana font. Somebody invented Potana font. Eenadu paper invented their own font, because they also now need to publish this. Newspapers, mostly newspaper people needed fonts. Mathrubhumi in Malayalam needed a font, right? Tamil Dinakaran needed a font, because now publishing of newspaper, which is the most active content production activity in Indian languages. What is the most active content production activity in Indian languages? Is your daily newspaper. Every day it has to come out. Now that also, the entire technology has become digital from the earlier age-old printing presses, right? So whether it be Dainik Bhaskar, whether it be Malayalam Manorama, whether it be Eenadu, Varta, you take Urdu newspapers like I think Dainik Bhaskar also has a Urdu version, and the Hyderabad-based, I'm forgetting that very famous newspaper, Siyasat Daily. All these people had to invent something because they had to move to the digital era. Now what happened? Everybody started creating their own font. So what happened? Eenadu newspaper is available if you had that font. Now you didn't, in your computer, you have some Potana font. That is not, you will see all boxes. Do you all remember? Around 2000, you opened some document in Telugu. తెలుగులో మీకు ఎవరో ఏదో పంపించారు, అది ఓపెన్ చేయగానే ఏం కనిపిస్తుంది మీకు? అన్ని బాక్సులు, ఎక్స్రేలు బాక్సులు ఏదో కనిపిస్తుంది. ఎక్కడ పోయింది కంటెంట్? సో వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ ఈజ్ వెన్ వీ స్టార్టెడ్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఫాంట్స్, దెర్ వాజ్ నో యూనివర్సల్ కంపాటిబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఫాంట్, అన్లైక్ ఇంగ్లీష్ ఫాంట్స్, రైట్? ఇంగ్లీష్ ఫాంట్స్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక తయారు మీ కంప్యూటర్లో కనిపిస్తుంది కానీ పక్కవాడి కంప్యూటర్లో కనపడట్లేదు. आपके कंप्यूटर में दिख रहा, लेकिन बाजू वाले के कंप्यूटर में नहीं दिख रहा, क्योंकि वो फॉन्ट नहीं है. This was the problem that we went through from 2000 to 2010. Massive problem it was. That's when a lot of people from free and open source software movement, lot of people who are passionate about Indian languages, Telugu gani, Urdu gani, they all worked for something called Unicode fonts. What is Unicode? a universal code. So if you type R in your computer, there is a background code, computer code. The same code will be visible in some other font also because the code is decipherable and they can see R. This coming of the Unicode fonts was the biggest exercise, it was the biggest thing in terms of technological inventions that has happened to ensure that the digital content in Indian languages started percolating, started coming up. That's when you saw blogs, bloggerlu tayar blog लिखने वाले तैयार हो गए, राइट, कंटेंट प्रोडक्शन का. न्यूज़पेपर वाले भी समझ गए कि हमें यूनिकोड फॉन्ट डालना है क्योंकि हमारे कंप्यूटर में दिख रहा है लेकिन गूगल में वो नहीं आ रहा है. आई विल गिव यू సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. మీరు ఇప్పుడు కూడా వెళ్ళి ఒక తెలుగు సెర్చ్ చేస్తే గూగుల్లో కానీ ఎనీ సెర్చ్ ఇంజిన్లో యూ సర్చ్, యూ వోంట్ సీ ఈనాడు లింక్స్, యూ విల్ సీ సాక్షి, ఆంధ్రజ్యోతి, కానీ ఈనాడు కనపడదు మీకు. ఎందుకు? ఈనాడు is still keeping all its content in its own proprietary format and its own PDF format. దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుంది? You cannot search. If your content is not in Unicode, it is not searchable, it is not sortable. So automatically search engines are not able to search your newspaper and show your results. This was the difficulty faced by even Siyasat Daily because it was mostly putting out a PDF content. Because जो सर्च इंजन है गूगल का या याहू का, बिंग, whichever it is, उन लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आपका कंटेंट क्या है. आप समझ रहे हैं कि हम कंप्यूटर में डाल रहे हैं, वी आर राइटिंग इट इन कंप्यूटर, वी आर पुटिंग इट इन कंप्यूटर, बट दैट इज नॉट एक्सेसिबल. So this Unicode, coming of the Unicode was the biggest thing that has happened to encourage, to ensure that our Indian language content started growing on the internet. Of course, still, if you see, English content is this much, Telugu content is probably this much. Still, but still we have reached this much. Now, very key role, that was played Indian languages content context lo, platforms like Wikipedia. मेरे इप्पड़ गुड़ा even now आप कुछ सर्च करेंगे, उर्दू में सर्च करो, हिंदी में सर्च करो, तेलुगु में सर्च करो, తెలుగులో సెర్చ్ చేసినా కానీ మీకు వికీపీడియా ఆర్టికల్స్ ఎక్కువ కనిపిస్తాయి. ఎందుకు? కంటెంట్ అందులో ఉంది కాబట్టి, యూనికోడ్లో ఉంది కాబట్టి. కానీ మొత్తం కంటెంట్ ఉందా తెలుగు వికీపీడియాలో? లేదు. గత 150 yearsగా, ఫర్ ద లాస్ట్ 150 years, యూ టేక్ వీరేశలింగం, యూ టేక్ ఎనీ ఓరుగల్లు manuscriptions, వరంగల్ manuscripts, right? Inscriptions, you take anything, they are not in the digital format. Digital format అంటే searchable formats లేవు, PDFsగా ఉన్నాయి. చాలామంది ఏమనుకుంటున్నారు, to make content available, they think scan the book, make it available. A very big project happened, I'm sure all librarians should know, called Digital Library of India. DLA project. Hyderabad was a very key node. The city public library, all these things, everybody was massively scanning the books and they are putting it up. What happens? That image is there, but how do I reach that content of that image? I want to read Kandukuri Veerashalingam, or I want to read Gurram Joshua poetry. రాజు మరణించి ఒక తార రాలిపోయా చదవాలనుకుంటున్నాను. ఇంటర్నెట్లో ఎతికితే ఎక్కడో గుర్రం జాషువా మొత్తం గబ్బిలం స్కాన్ చేసి పెట్టారు, కానీ అది మనకు దొరకట్లేదు. ఎందుకు? అది యూనికోడ్లో లేదు, ఇమేజ్ ఫార్మాట్లో ఉంది. ఇట్లా ఏమైంది? ఒకటేమో వికీపీడియాలో కొందరు రాస్తున్న వారి కంటెంట్, ద పీపుల్ ఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఇన్ వికీపీడియా, దట్ కంటెంట్ ఈస్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ఇండియన్ లాంగ్వేజెస్. బట్ వాట్ అబౌట్ ఆల్ ద కంటెంట్ that was produced in the Indian languages for the past 100 and 150 years? A lot of content got produced. Sir, we were talking about children's literature. Sir, Chandamama, Bommarillu. I can tell you, like in Telugu, I am telling you, even in Urdu, even in Hindi, a lot of children literature got produced during 60s, 70s, 80s. Can we make it available again? So that is where, when I was in Wikipedia, we have put a lot of volunteer effort. We didn't have so much of money like you have to do big conferences. We were all working with volunteers. So what did we do? For example, I went to Andhra Layla College. I came to Manu also to organize a workshop for Urdu Wikipedia, but somehow it did not work out for various other reasons. I went to FLU, English and Foreign Languages University. We went out to various universities. We went to Goa University. What happened? In Konkani, there was a 5-volume encyclopedia that Goa University published. That copyright was with the Goa University. Now we asked him to release it under Creative Commons license. We used their own Konkani department people to convert that entire scanned image into searchable text. Now, sir, there is a Konkani Wikipedia. I'm very proud to tell you, I created Konkani Wikipedia. There was no Konkani Wikipedia before. So, a simple individual like me with volunteers could create a Konkani Wikipedia. As librarians, so many of you, especially coming from Telangana, తెలంగాణ సంస్కృతికి సంబంధించి, తెలంగాణ భాషకు సంబంధించి, తెలంగాణ యాసకు సంబంధించి, తెలంగాణకు సంబంధించి ఎంతో మనము ఇంటర్నెట్లో పొందుపరచగలుగుతాం. ఎందుకు? ఇప్పటివరకు ఎంతో కంటెంట్ అవైలబుల్గా ఉంది. దాన్ని మనం ఒక దేవులపల్లి కృష్ణ శాస్త్రి మొత్తం సర్చబుల్ వచ్చే విధంగా చేయగలుగుతామా? ఎలా చేయొచ్చు? That is where lot of digitization of content in Indian languages is required. We have done a project with Andhra Layla College in Vijayawada, where the Telugu department students, we use them, we taught them Telugu typing, and all of them after their BA, sir, Lakshmanrao sir, after their BA, they are all earning 15 to 20,000 rupees because they learned Telugu typing. Not even engineers are earning that much. Because they learned Telugu typing, there is a huge demand in the DTP industry. Banner making, all of these things. Now, while they learned Telugu typing, what did we do? We digitized the entire Kandukuri Veerashalingam. If there is internet, you search for Kandukuri Veerashalingam, everything will be available on Wikisource, which is a repository of all old copyright lapsed books in searchable format. So, మనం చేయగలిగింది ఏంటి librarians గా? I would say, you need to collaborate, especially about Telugu. If we were to talk about or Urdu, Manu is the location, we need to collaborate with the languages department. And just 2 hours in a week, if every student 2 hours in a week is contributing digitizing, a student is contributing to digitizing our age-old corpus, Telugu corpus, Urdu corpus, Hindi corpus, I'm telling you, Manu alone can produce massive amount of content, digital content, useful content in Urdu for the rest of the world. We don't need any miracles, sir. We don't need to have major strategic plans. Very simple step. Can we tie up, can the librarian guide, train, give the platform where you, with that language department, where people have come to do MA Urdu, BA Urdu or whatever Urdu, or MA Telugu, BA Telugu, every week 2 hours you need to digitize content. You digitize whatever you like. We can create digital content that way. Currently, we are producing after Unicode a lot of content. For example, Facebook, Kavi Sangamam in Hyderabad, which happens in Golden Threshold. You know, Kavi Yaqub, a good friend of mine. They all start sharing poetry on Facebook in Telugu. So this was not a reality 5 years ago. You had to write. Now, even on Facebook, you are able to type. Even in your phones, I go like this, I can click, I can change keyboard, right? Earlier there was only English keyboard. Now you can go to Telugu, Urdu, Hindi, all keyboards. Now even in the mobile, 5 years ago, we had to fight. Tamil Nadu government was the first government to say, if you don't have Tamil in the mobile phones, I won't allow you to sell mobile phones. That's when all mobile companies said, "Arey mujhe abhi Indian language dalna hai." Samsung started it, everybody is following it. So very simple policy change like that. One thing that we can do is, as you know, IPLM with Professor Rao Garu here, is all government GOs, let it come in Telugu. Simple, Unicode Telugulo ravali. All government websites, including library website, should be there in Telugu or should be there in Urdu. Then again, don't go and create images. It should be searchable content. Similarly, we have done a very simple project with libraries, sir, just to connect to how we have worked with volunteer effort. In 2013, I encouraged a Wikipedia volunteer to digitize all Telugu books that are available in Digital Library of India, create a Telugu searchable catalog. I can tell you there are close to about 1 lakh books, the digital catalog is available. You search for any of those things, that catalog comes to you. It also gives a link to the image, that book where it is, and it also has a crisp summary. చాలా చిన్న సమ్మరీ ఉంటుంది తెలుగులో. నాకు ఇక్కడ ఇంటర్నెట్ ఉంటే నేను మీకు చూపించగలుగుతాను, మీరు కూడా సెర్చ్ చేయొచ్చు. డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ అని తెలుగులో సెర్చ్ చేయండి, మీకు కేటలాగ్ వస్తుంది. ఇది ఒక ఇద్దరితో మనం చేయించగలం, వాలంటీర్ ఎఫర్ట్తో, ఒక చిన్న స్కాలర్షిప్ ఇచ్చి. సో వై we have next project in 2014, when I was leading the Wikipedia program, I encouraged a Wikipedia volunteer called Vishwanath. He runs a small Xerox shop in Palakollu. He's very passionate about Telugu. What did we tell him? Boss, in your area there are 10 popular libraries, public libraries. You go to those libraries, create a Telugu catalog of all these libraries, searchable Telugu catalog. He has done that. He has digitized the entire Annamaya Granthalayam, which is there in Guntur. Sir, not only that the library is benefiting, but if once it's coming online, what happens? Anybody searching for it, at least your library, your book that is in your library is now getting discovered. So I would say, in terms of making libraries accessible, can we look at searchable digital catalogs? మన దగ్గర ఉన్న తెలుగులో పుస్తకాలు కూడా తెలుగులో క్యాటలాగ్, సర్చబుల్ క్యాటలాగ్ చేయగలుగుతామా కొన్ని కీవర్డ్స్ ఇచ్చి. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ దట్ యూ కెన్ డూ. సింపుల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ మీ చేతిలో ఉంది, ఎవరు పెద్దగా చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, పెద్ద పెద్ద బడ్జెట్స్ అవసరం లేదు, మనం చేయగలిగిన. నా లైబ్రరీలో ఉన్న తెలుగు పుస్తకాలన్నీ కూడా ఒక చిన్న వెబ్సైట్లో తెలుగులో పెడతా. వీ కెన్ క్రియేట్ ఇట్. చాలా సింపుల్, మీరు ఒక 2-3 monthsలో ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఈ విధంగా ఇమాజిన్, తెలంగాణలో ఉన్న లైబ్రరీస్ అన్నీ కూడా తమ తమ క్యాటలాగ్లు తెలుగులో కానీ ఇంగ్లీష్లో కానీ తయారు చేసి పెడితే, వీ కెన్ రన్ ఐ కెన్ గెట్ వన్ వెరీ సింపుల్ ఫ్రీ అండ్ ఓపెన్ సోర్స్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ గై. దిస్ వాజ్ మై విజన్ ఇన్ 2014-12 ఈజ్, మీరు గూగుల్లో వెళ్ళగానే సెర్చ్ చేస్తే యూ వాంట్ టు ఈట్ సంథింగ్, ఇట్ విల్ షో యూ ఆల్ ద నియర్ బై హోటల్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి కదా. ప్యారడైజ్ కాకుండా ఇంకోటి all the hotels are visible, all the petrol pumps are visible. Tomorrow somebody is searching for a book, we can easily type with Google and say, this book is available within your own city in your library. మీ లైబ్రరీలో క్యాటలాగ్ ఉంటే అది సర్చబుల్ విధంగా ఉంటే, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ సర్చబుల్, we can even create we can use a simple maps tool and integrate all the library catalogs across India at a very low cost. Anybody searching for a book, Gurram Joshua, Gabbilam, it will not only tell you Google, we have to depend on Google, right? Inadvertently, everybody is going there. Rather than beating them, let us join them, I would say. So in Google, when somebody is searching for, say, Chandamama Katha, it will not only tell you about Chandamama, how it started, but it will also give you a search result. This book is available 5 kilometers from you at so-and-so library. Can we create very simple thing like that? At least this is something that I would like to propose as some takeaway. One is creating digital catalogs, and then the other is to simply integrate this catalog so that the books become, especially Indian language books, become discoverable. That is one thing. Second thing which I wanted to propose, which I've already proposed, is can we digitize our own language corpus? Mana bhasha, ఇంతకుముందు మన భాషలో మన సాహిత్యం ఇవంతా కూడా చాలా వచ్చాయి ఇప్పటివరకు, దాన్ని మనం డిజిటైజ్ చేయగలుగుతాం. उर्दू में 1930s में ही उस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी में पूरा MBBS का सिलेबस उर्दू में था. मेरे दादाजी बोलते थे, जो उस्मानिया से MD किए, बिशक किए थे, उस दिन बिशक बोलते थे MD को. उनके पास वो बोलते थे कि पूरा MBBS जो मेडिसिन का सिलेबस था उस्मानिया यूनिवर्सिटी में उर्दू में था. क्या हम उस सिलेबस को अभी लेके आ सकते हैं डिजिटाइज करके? बिकॉज मेडिकल बुक्स ऑल्सो इट वॉज प्रोड्यूस्ड. अभी उर्दू में मेडिकल बुक्स लिखना बोले तो बहुत मुश्किल काम है. क्यों करना है? वाई डू वी नीड टू रीइन्वेंट? can we at least get our content corpus back, make it available digitally? ఆయుర్వేద సంహిత ఉంది, బాలరత్నాకరం అని ఉంది, చాలా ఉన్నాయి పుస్తకాలు, వస్తుగుణ దీపిక, వస్తుగుణ ప్రకాశిక, ఇఫ్ యూర్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ మెడిసిన్, మీ లైబ్రరీస్లో బుక్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇవన్నీ కూడా కాపీరైట్ ల్యాబ్స్ అయిపోయాయి. వాటిని మనం డిజిటైజ్ చేసి ముందు తరాల వారికి అందిస్తే అప్పుడే మన అస్తిత్వం ఏదైతే ఉందో, హమారా జో ఐడెంటిటీ హై, యునో, దట్ ఈస్ అవర్ రియల్ ఆస్తి, దట్ ఈస్ అవర్ రియల్ wealth. That is something that we can pass on to the future generations. Very simple. Use your own students in the universities, use your own students in the colleges, use your own readers who are passionate about Telugu, Urdu, whatever Indian languages that you are passionate about. Okay? Try and make that corpus, that language corpus that we have in Indian languages, digitally alive. So these are the two simple things with which, this has been my last 15 years of experience of traveling with language and technology, language and digital technology. Based on that experience, I'm talking out of what we have done, simple things. You're all people with lot of resources. You could do a lot more as librarians to ensure that the knowledge is also available in Indian languages for our future generations and ensure that our languages live on. Thank you so much.
Very good afternoon. The panel discussion. And the panel discussion topic is mainly what are the challenges the public libraries actually facing in two contexts. One is there any content, relevant content, quality content is available in the public library where I can able to go and access? Second, is there any way that I can able to access those content? I don't want to go there, but still I want to access the content, because reaching the public library, nightmare in sometimes, in some other places. For example, if I'm sitting in village, I'm school librarian, where I cannot able to reach to go there, access the library. So how do I access? Whether I can use technology as the tool to access that content. So what are the challenges really the end user facing? One. And second thing is, what type of challenges the public library is actually facing. Is there any public libraries? Maybe what I'll do is I'll go back yesterday's sayings. From there I'll take a couple of quotations or remarks made by the presenters. One, maybe I'll take 2-3 things. One is Mr. Jayarajan MBE. Many of you may not know MBE. He is a member in British Empire. He quoted a magazine which says or predicted, based on the data available outside, some businessman has done essential work and says that in 2025 there is a possibility of non-existence of the libraries, public libraries particularly. There won't be any public libraries. He doesn't just like to throw the concept, throw the idea. He has got the valid reasons, valid data. Based on that, he says there won't be any public libraries next 20-25 years. And it is endorsed by Manoj. He might be having his own reasons. That's one thing. The first question is, do we really going to have a public libraries? Today, is it really relevant? It is really going to help us? When we talk about the public library, it's mainly I'm talking about the community. Is the public library is really going to help the community? In what way it's going to help? First of all, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the facility, they don't have the manpower, and they don't have financial strength. Without all these things, how the public libraries can address or support the community? That's a fundamental question. It's raised yesterday. And second thing is, Mr. Srikanth, I believe, he says on contrary, he said, there is increase in the print production. 75% of increase in the print production, particularly on textbook. Today we are all actually crying or at least gossiping the reading habit has come down. If the reading habit is come down, every single minute, every single second, some new content has been produced, new content produced somewhere on the internet and other facilities. The second could be migrants, digital migrants, people like, when I was born or you born, the print material is very famous. So there is a conflict of sayings. One is, one side there is a print production is coming based on the data, and the other side we say that there is a reading habit has come down. If the reading habit is come down, there should not be any print media has come out. Number of print journals, number of print magazines, number of print newspapers in local languages, it has come enormously. There is a growth. You may counter argue with me, know the population. You just think about the population, the number of magazines. Forget about those things, but still the numbers are going. I'm talking about the print. So there are still print takers, there are still digital takers, still people are reading, still people are consuming the information, still people are reproducing the information. Those information has been stored somewhere for retrieval purpose for the future generation. Right, now in this context, how the public library can support, because the public library, we assume that it's boneless. I don't think that it is the strength of the Indian population or Indian community. Right, let me just go back. And third saying, yesterday when the opening remarks, Mr. Sama said, we have the real challenge. What is the real challenge? Digitization. Now today somebody says that if you have the Unicode, you can able to digitize everything. What you need to do is you need to have a kind of standard protocols to digitize the material. I can able to access anywhere, including my mobile. I don't want even laptop. And those materials sitting on the clouds. Fine. But what he said is, yesterday, I'm just saying all the sayings from yesterday, nothing my words. Yesterday if you are there, you would have seen all these things. Now yesterday we are talking about the human libraries. Every human being as a library. Every human being is a technology. So you don't go to anywhere else to produce, store, retrieve. Every human being has to think they are the library, they are the technology. For example, an illiterate man, in our context, if somebody is not reading or somebody is not able to read and write, we say illiterate. They are not at all illiterate. They are more knowledgeable people than us. In the sense, they are the one conveying the message, sharing the experience orally. That is why the society has been evolved from oral to reading. What is happening, the oral is not actually stored because we don't know the technology stored. For example, my grandma or my father, my mother said the bedtime stories. It is not written anywhere else based on their experience. They share their experience and it is through orally. And then I am communicating to my kids. There is no return document. Those are extremely good collection, but unfortunately we are not able to store those things. That is where the human being communicate. They are the technology communicate from one generation to next generation. What is happening? This oral community, unfortunately becoming the reading community or reading society when the Gutenberg found or invented the printing machine. We started reading material because today we are blaming people are actually watching the mobile content, the digital format. What is happening that time? We started actually reading. The society becoming oral to reading. Today what is happening? Everybody start viewing. And next generation may be touch and feel. It may be an interactive society. So things will get changed. And this, how the libraries can play a major role. Instead of blaming, I don't have this, the library is not working, there is no setup. I think probably if you look into this in a different angle, slightly in a very positive manner, there are enormous work, enormous support the society getting from the public libraries. Maybe tomorrow I'm not very sure that the academic libraries will exist because things are getting changed. When I want to go to corporate office to get my job, the degree is not going to help me at all. The degree which awarded by the university going to be not help at all. What I need is, I need the skill set. Where will I get the skill set? Maybe there the public library going to play a major role for the younger generation, like younger country like in India. Right, I'll just take one example for this guy. I think most of you know that he is the librarian who actually dedicated the whole life. And he spent all his money for the poor people. He go and sit and lay down, sleep with the people who in the Popman's railway station, understand the need. And he is not only helping in the need, but also educate them. We are crying, saying that the public library is not in the good shape. This is the public library. One of the best library in Asia. Anna Centenary Library. It is nowhere inferior to any of the European US libraries. There are libraries in India. I'm just giving one example. They are doing extremely well. Nowhere you can match with these libraries, Western libraries. There are inferior Western libraries, US libraries when compared with these libraries. We are talking about the amenities. We are talking about ambience. We are talking about the infrastructure. It is there. The public library provides the government support, the community support. Yes, we have the threat. When the rulers are changed, policy try to change. What is important to safeguard the public library is when the government decided to close this library or convert it into a children's hospital. It is one of the 8-story building, one of the biggest Asia's library, one of the Asia's biggest library, of getting all the infrastructure facilities, hub of the city. And then government decided to close because government decided can do anything with the policy decision. When what is happening, it is not the government not able to do. I am not criticizing any government. I am just criticizing the policy, or I am just mentioning the policy decision taken by a government. Now the whole Tamil Nadu actually protest, but the government listened. They never bothered to listen. They want to go ahead. And what is happening? People went to the court, filed the suit, and then they safeguarded. So if you really want to safeguard, if you really think that a public library is an important entity for the society, probably we have to change, we have to safeguard, we have to work towards that. Right, some of the corporates which minting money never bothered about people who actually deserve certain facilities, but still the library which actually focusing all those things. Most of the academic institutions may not have these facilities. For instance, if you take the other side, it's a small 3-tier city library. It is not a big library, sophisticated library. Library doesn't have the funds. But in spite of all these things, the library is able to provide the facility for the physically challenged students, kids. I'm talking about the library which is located in the very remote area. We are talking that we are not actually, we have a kind of thinking that the kids are spoiled by the digital content or mobiles. Agreed? No doubt. People are watching games, people are watching unwanted materials. If you go to these college students, most of the time they spend at least other unwanted materials, no problem. But still, public library is really playing a major role. And we need to support. For example, we are talking about the reading habit has come down. Listening is completely lost. It is not there. Still, it is actually doing. Still, I am talking about these libraries. I have taken the pictures from the real pictures, which is happening in the remote areas. Again, the skill set. Today, we have the major problem. The kids are going towards the marks. Everybody is pushing mark, mark, mark. It is not so right. There are other side of the coin. The libraries, librarians, take a lot of effort to invite people, subject, they are the school teachers, they mobilize the funds, they are not asking single paisa. They do all on their own. Still they are able to make an experiment, make people to more skill set thinking and analytical things. Now let me just see. I'll take two states, one straight away from the north and other one will be in the south. Straight away I'll take one at south extreme Kashmir to Kanyakumari. I'll take Tamil Nadu, the state, which may be in pioneer in the case of library movement. 1948, it was actually enacted. Now, if you see the number of libraries, today we are talking about the village library, it is there already. In many states have the village libraries, many states have the school libraries. Yes, there are problems with the school library, existence of the school libraries and librarians. But still, there is a possibility that we need to evoke, we need to provoke the government, we need to provoke ourselves, we have to volunteer ourselves. Now, if you see that the number of libraries available in one state, 4,000 plus, which includes mobile libraries. Then, I wanted to give an example. A couple of months back, there is a news item. One of the village librarian, he works a part-time librarian. He take books in the cycle and go to the remote area and give the books to the area and come back. Next, after 3 days, he will go and then collect it. Nobody asked him to do it. Nobody has been paid for the librarian to do that. but he volunteered himself. That means there are people. What we need is, we need to have the mindset, a little bit of a courage, time. That we have to do it. And we'll go to the extreme north. We all think that it is completely ignored. Like Kashmir. Kashmir is another state which pioneered in this library movement. Still they are struggling to get the buildings. Most of, at least 70% of the buildings libraries are running in the rented building. But still they are able to do that. For example, if I want to study something, this is what the message actually given in one of these newspaper. Kashmir Reader says that most of these public libraries in Kashmir are functioning in the rented place. But still they are functioning. Understand? They are still functioning. They are able to provide the support to the community. They might be having a lot of issues. But in spite of all these things, they are supporting. Right? On the other hand, people might be having a problem accessing internet in Kashmir. There is no problem at all, because if you go to the Jammu and Kashmir University, still people can sit at home and access the material through remote. There is a possibility. And one more important thing is, even if you are sitting in Kashmir, you want to read material in Tamil, they provide the facility. They have a lot of different materials, different format. So accessing material is not an issue. It is not a big challenge. Technology given the facility. Funding is not at all an issue. Human resource is not an issue today in the technological era. What is important? The mindset of us. An important thing. Right, today we are talking about the human libraries. Yes, there are libraries which actually bring lot of expert on different area to inspire the local community. For instance, there are self-help groups. Really, if you want to motivate your local women folk, there are people who come under address, help. They are actually, it's all done by the libraries. I'm talking about the librarians who are actually doing these works. They bring expert, for example, bank fellows, how to get the loans, how to sell your product, what is the market things. These are all done by those people. So it is possible, still I think people are doing. You might be having a problem that actually I have a small corner of space. I don't have even table chairs for the users. You don't worry about the fundings. Don't wait for the people to come and support you. Government never have priority for these areas. Government might be having priority on health and other areas because they have their own priorities. But still, for that we need not wait to get the funds. Instead, we can actually start raising the funds. This is what is happening in the case of some of the public libraries. These are all the pictures. They get many free materials. For example, chairs. Maybe for us chairs in ordinary material. But in the remote village, 4 chairs are important for the user. Again, women folk, we ignore one of these areas is women folks. This public library play a major role empowering those women folks, providing different type of activities. Again, the school kids, we are talking about school kids not exposed to the libraries. It's not true. It's in general, we assume or we say, maybe agree with you, but there are things are happening. Partially, we also responsible for that. Again, people are unemployment. I think here these libraries are playing major role bringing in employment, bringing people how to prepare for the examination, how to face it, what is to be done, all those things. It is not only providing inspirational talk and also it provides supportive documents and information. Right. I think I have to stop. Thank you.
Everybody on the dais and of the dais. Last 1.5 days we are discussing whether public library will exist or perish. Some people are saying it will exist, some people are saying it will perish. Just I want to say one example. In 1992, Bata company, the shoe manufacturer company, sent 1 people to survey whether they can open a shop there or not. 1 people came and observed. Then he finally reported that this area is not fit for the Bata company to open a shop because people have no capacity to buy the shoes. After 1 year, Bata company again sent a person to open whether it is feasible to open the shoe or not. Then that people observed and gave the report that there is no good shoe shop here. That's why people are unable to buy shoe here. That's why the people are unable to wear shoes here. There will be a good shoe shop is required here. That's Bata company opened the shoe, and till that it is growing in every corner and doing much more business than earlier shoe stores which are in main city. Why I am saying this? If there is will, there is way. If we want to continue our public library, we will provide service better in public library. People will come to our public library. How people will come to the public library? People today, some people are saying that people are not coming to the public library because we are not focused what type of service we want to provide to what type of person. Suppose, one more example I want to say, in India, there are more than 6.5 lakh villages. How many public libraries? Around 1 lakh. Why? Why 6.5 lakh public libraries are not in villages? We have self-help groups. Self-help in almost all villages. We have village committees in almost all villages. We are Anganwadi in all villages. Why not public libraries? Why government is not coming forward to establish public libraries in rural areas or villages? If we establish public libraries in rural areas and focus on providing e-governance programs of the government through public libraries, it will be more feasible. It will be more acceptable by the people. How? Suppose one person in rural area don't know about crop insurance. How he will benefit, a farmer will benefit from the crop insurance. If public library will come and educate the farmer, if you will insurance your crop and something happen, then flood or drought, then you will be benefited. Then he will start coming to the public library to gain knowledge what about the crop insurance. Forget about the crop insurance. You think about the students, those who are not getting books. We public library will provide the books by downloading from the website. The NCERT books are freely available. IGNOU books are freely available in public forum, their website. If they will download these and freely distribute them and educate them, they will come to the public library. Forget about the school students, the children. If we will make available the puzzles, building blocks, they will come, they will play and use the public library. If you will provide illiterate people, suppose illiterate people don't know anything, Jan Dhan account. In my home, my maid has no account. My maid has no account, he is taking money and keeping in his home. And sometimes white ants are also perishing those notes. So, my opinion is if we will educate the people in village area, rural area through public library, the e-governance program, the people will get much benefited, will get much benefit and they will come to the library. Thank you all.
One question to each panelist.
All the local information, but is there any cost? What is the cost of doing that? And so if there is a ready reckoner of the cost of doing that, then one would, you can incentivize people to get into this work. So is there any analysis on that?
Archana ji, right? Thanks for the question, Archana ji. So, yeah, very two-pronged answer. One, there are already standard costs of digitizing a page of A4 size or crown size in the market because it is happening. But what I'm more trying to impress upon all of you is let us not look at the cost. Let us look at how do we harness human time in digitizing our own language corpus. Harnessing human time is nothing but there are lakhs of children currently in if you put all the universities together, if you take Andhra Pradesh, all universities if you take, there are a lot of children studying Telugu from the school standard, intermediate standard, degree standard. There are people who are doing specialization in MA. Can we use one hour of their time every week Can we create a very simple system? Can libraries play that role in harnessing that human time, such that our linguistic corpus, language corpus can be digitized? I'm telling you, this is zero cost project.
Just a volunteerism.
Yeah, we need to. But I'm saying somewhere volunteerism has to be enforced as institutions. We could do that. So I was more trying to propose that model. But otherwise, there are costs that are out there in the market. A lot of people are into doing this. Translation, there are costs. Typing, there are costs. Digitizing, there are costs. So, but the model that I'm looking at is every library, okay, Siddipet like municipality of library, right? A Siddipet type of small town also has a library, where there are certain schools that are there. Now, as part of this thing, DEF, I was, Ravi told that every library is getting 5 computers. Can you create a small program where every week you invite a school of children, say 50 children, 100 children, you teach them typing in Telugu. As part of learning the typing while having fun, they are digitizing probably a very rich poetry, a very rich prose, that is there. Within your own library, probably a book, as simple like that.
I just wanted to hold since a long time, and I think that's the answer to this world today. In terms of collaborative, buying the volunteering time is very important. We have done 2 partnerships, and just as an example, we've done it in the children's literature space with Central Institute of Buddhist Studies in Leh, in Ladakh. The students, senior set of students translated about 50 of our stories, and they continuously are translating. The second example, since he is one of the founder team members of the Konkani Wikipedia, we have worked with Konkani Bhasha Mandal to their volunteers translating over 130 books for us in Konkani. So I think we will have to really think this idea. When we are in Manu, I would say that today I have about maybe around 200 books available in Urdu on our platform. But there is a translation tool available, Unicode is there, searchability, and I fully agree. I mean, आप गधा ढूंढेंगे, donkey ढूंढेंगे, कुछ भी टाइप करेंगे, गधा ही दिखेगा. That's the fun of working in Unicode. जैसे इन्होंने आपका एग्जांपल दिया, मैं गधे का दे रहा हूँ. But I think that's where we want to be, and that's about it. Thank you.
I want to make the question itself. As a matter of fact, I was not there yesterday, therefore, I do not know what was happening there, but I am very much attracted by that particular phrase that, reaching the unreached. Digitization and then, extending digital library services and all these are okay, but then, when it is a public library, I wanted to really know that, how do you reach the unreached? And do you really think that, digitization will solve the problem? That is what is my question, and then it is a very big and really it's wonderful topic as such, and then it has wonderful challenges, many challenges, and that is the actual challenge, real challenge. Thank you.
To any specific person? Or
Anybody can answer.
Yeah, it's a continuous process. It is not going to happen overnight because it has various parameters. For example, if you take the population, it is keep on growing. If you really want to reach, it's like a seashore. It just comes and then goes, the waves comes and goes. But what we can do is, we can make a lot of attempt. I think government actually made necessary attempt. Very importantly, academic institutions need to support those things. Once in an academic institution, because there actually the younger generation started coming, they are the community, they are the people who is going to be there in the society. So probably when the government take policy, when government actually try to do something for the society, academic institutions need to involve in the process. And once if the academic institution, the faculty and the researchers involved in the process, probably they are not involved, they are involved with the younger generation, future generation. And there I think probably we can be able to reach. But again, it is a continuous process. It is not going to happen in one day.
Never happens, because I remember when paperless society was in the circulation, people started saying there will be no printing. But when printing came, it seems the same words they repeat centuries. And the papers also already, I think it's 2 decades, more than 2 decades, paper are continuing and public libraries will continue, I think, as long as this world survives. There is nothing, no question of closure. Maybe, I think probably with the public demand, the governments have to come down to establish more public libraries. Today, unfortunately, for the governments, public libraries are the least priority. And the people who are getting educated, rural masses, everybody understands the value of the library. I am sure in next one decade, the things are going to change for public libraries, and the governments have to come down. And already we have 20 states which are having acts, and unfortunately, they collect the tax, and they are not being spent for the libraries. And the people are getting aware of all the things that is happening. I am sure things are going to be in favor of the public libraries, at least if not in 1 or 2 years, at least by next decade. And thank you very much to all the panelists. Thank you very much to everybody for patiently hearing.
అడ్వైజర్స్ ఉంటారు. ఇక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ ప్రతి ఒక్కరు గెస్ట్ అండి ఈ ప్యానల్ డిస్కషన్స్కి. ప్యానల్స్ అనేవి సపరేట్గా లేవు. ఎందుకు అంటే నేను ప్రతి ఒక్కరిని ఒక అడ్వైజర్ కింద తీసుకున్నాను, ప్రతి ఒక్కరిని ఒక గెస్ట్ కింద తీసుకుంటున్నాను ఈ ప్రోగ్రాంలో. ప్లస్ ఈ ఒక 1:32 ఏదైతే ఇప్పుడు 2:30 to 5 o'clock షెడ్యూల్ ఉందో ప్రతి ఒక్కరు ఇక్కడ గెస్టే అండి. కాకపోతే మనకి ఇక్కడ పెద్దవాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు, అడ్వైజర్స్ ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళని అడ్వైజరీ కమిటీ కింద తీసుకొని ఒక 3 to 4 people ఇక్కడ కూర్చుంటారు. కానీ ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి ఛాన్స్ వచ్చే విధంగా చూస్తాము. కానీ మనకున్న టైంలో మినిమం టైం యూజ్ చేసుకొని మనం మాట్లాడగలిగితే మన ప్రోగ్రామ్ని సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా ఎండ్ చేయొచ్చు. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ దిస్. అండ్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు ఇన్వైట్ శ్రీధర్ సార్ ఆన్ టు ది డాష్ and director sir Ramana Kumar sir onto the dais, Shubhangini madam onto the dais, Akhtar sir onto the dais. నాకు ప్రత్యేకంగా చెప్పాలంటే ఈ 2 days సెషన్లో చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది ఈ సెషన్ చూస్తుంటే. ఎందుకంటే అసలు ఈ యూనివర్సిటీ వాళ్ళు కూడా అనుకోలేదంట, నేను ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ వింటున్నాను ఇంత పబ్లిక్ ఇంత స్ట్రెంత్లో ఇక్కడ చేస్తారని. ఒక్కసారి మనం రౌండ్ అప్లైస్ చెప్పుకోవాలి మనకు మనం. ఎందుకంటే ఇంత ఎత్తున మనం విజయవంతంగా ఇక్కడ తీసుకొచ్చి ప్రతి ఒక్కరు కొలాబరేషన్స్తో, ఇక్కడ నాకు యూనియన్ లీడర్స్ కూడా నిన్న రాలేకపోయారు, ఇక్కడ ఈరోజు కూడా వచ్చారు. వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు మేము ఈరోజు వస్తామని చెప్పి, వాళ్ళు కూడా వచ్చారు. డిఫరెంట్ లైబ్రరియన్స్ వచ్చారు, ప్రతి ఒక్క అడ్వైజర్స్ వచ్చారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ దట్. అండ్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి మెయిన్గా 4 to 5 టాపిక్స్ తీసుకుందాము. మెయిన్గా షెడ్యూల్ వచ్చేసి ఒక్క టాపిక్ పైన ఒక 1/2 hour డిస్కషన్ చేద్దాం. 1/2 hour డిస్కషన్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే ఎవరైనా మనకి అడ్వైజ్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, సజెషన్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, ఇన్పుట్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. మీకేమైనా హెల్ప్ కావాలంటే అడ్వైజర్ దగ్గర తీసుకుంటారు. మీరు చెప్పేదాంట్లో ఎట్లుంటుందంటే జస్ట్ 1/2 hour 1 topic అండి. 1/2 hour 1 topic తీసుకుంటున్నాం ఫుల్ ఫ్లెడ్జ్గా. ఎవరికైనా ఛాన్స్ వస్తుంది, ఎవరైనా చెప్పొచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్లో వేరే వాళ్ళకి ఇద్దాం ఛాన్స్, వాళ్ళ ఐడియాస్ షేర్ చేయడం. ఇది ఓపెన్ డిస్కషన్. ఎలా అంటే ఐడియాస్ షేర్ చేయడానికి దీంట్లో మేము ఏం చేయబోతున్నామంటే రిపోర్చర్స్ని పెట్టాము ఇక్కడ. వాళ్ళు రిపోర్చర్ రాసుకుంటారు, ప్రతి ఒక్కటి నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకుంటారు. మనం ఇంకా ఫర్దర్ ఇంకా మా 1 year ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఉంది, దాంట్లో మేము ముందుకు ఎలా వెళ్ళవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడున్న దాంట్లో మాత్రం 13 libraries, 3 government librariesకే మేము హెల్ప్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు ఇంకా 21 districts ఉన్నాయి మాకు. మేము ఆ 21 డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ని కూడా ఎట్లా మోడల్ లైబ్రరీస్ కింద డిజైన్ చేయాలనేది మెయిన్ థీమ్ అండి. సో ఫస్ట్ మన టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి ఒక విజనరీగా చూస్తే మీరు ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఎవరైనా గోవా వెళ్ళి ఉంటే లేకపోతే డిఫరెంట్ బెస్ట్ మోడల్ లైబ్రరీస్ ఉంటే, సార్ మన స్టేట్లో ఇట్లాంటి థీమ్ అప్లై చేస్తే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అనేది మీరు సజెషన్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఒక మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ కావాలంటే ఎలా ఉండాలి, దాంట్లో ఏదైనా ఉండొచ్చు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనకి ఒక ట్రైనింగ్ నుంచి మొదలుకొని ఒక చిన్న చైర్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చిన్న డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి మనకి, దాంట్లో చైర్ టేబుల్ కూడా డిఫిషియన్సీ ఉంది, మ్యాన్ పవర్ డిఫిషియన్సీ, ప్రతి ఒక్కటి దాంట్లో ఇంక్లూడ్ ఉంటుంది. ఒక మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ అనేది ఎలా ఉండాలనేది టాపిక్ అండి. 1 by 1 పాస్ ఆన్ చేయండి మైక్. జస్ట్ ఒక్కొక్కరికి 1 or 2 minutes తీసుకోండి సార్, ఎందుకంటే ఇంతమంది మాట్లాడాలనేది నా అభిప్రాయం సార్, నా ఉద్దేశం. ప్లీజ్.
అన్ని లైబ్రరీలు డిజిటలైజేషన్ ఉంటేనే ఎక్కువ బెనిఫిట్ రావడానికి అవకాశాలు ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు డిజిటలైజేషన్తో పాటు కూడా ఒక మేజర్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే స్టాఫ్ కూడా డిస్కషన్ చేయడానికి ఆ విషయాల్లో కూడా ఆలోచించాలి. ప్రతి స్టూడెంట్స్కి బెనిఫిట్ అయ్యే విధంగా ఎక్కువ ఇప్పుడు చాలా ఓల్డ్ బుక్స్ అనేది బుక్స్లో కొన్ని కూడా చేంజ్ కావాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ కూడా మనకు బెనిఫిట్ అయ్యే విధంగా చేసుకోవాలి. మొన్ననే ఈ కంప్యూటర్స్ ద్వారా కూడా ఎక్కువ బెనిఫిట్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంది.
ఓకే సార్, నెక్స్ట్ పాస్ సార్. మనం ఒక మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ అంటే ఎలా ఉండాలి?
మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ అంటే టోటల్ అన్ని వర్గాల వారికి, ఎందుకంటే చిన్నపిల్లల నుంచి పెద్దవాళ్ళ వరకు లైబ్రరీకి మనం ఏర్పాట్లు చేయాలి. చిన్నపిల్లలకి చిల్డ్రన్స్ వ్యవసాయదారులు కానివ్వండి, ఆ బిజినెస్ పీపుల్ కానివ్వండి, మరి స్టూడెంట్స్ కానివ్వండి, ఆల్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ అంటే మనం ఒక్కొక్క దీని నుంచి తీసుకొని అన్నిటికీ సమకూర్చిన రోజు అది మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ. బిల్డింగ్ ఇస్ నాట్ మోడల్, ఓన్లీ దాంట్లో ఉన్న స్ట్రక్చర్ కానివ్వండి మనం ప్రజలకు అందుబాటులో తెచ్చేది అన్ని విధాలు అన్ని వర్గాల వారికి అందరూ వచ్చినప్పుడే అది మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ. మోడల్ లైబ్రరీ మనం చేస్తే కాదు, ప్రజలను అట్రాక్టివ్ చేసుకొని తీసుకొని రావాలని.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, ప్లీజ్.
అంటే మీరు చెప్పినట్టుగా గతంలో ఉన్నదానికంటే ఇప్పుడు డిజిటల్ ద్వారా చాలా చక్కగా అన్ని వర్గాల ప్రజలకు ఒక మెసేజ్ ఇచ్చిన రీతిలో ఉండాలి. చదువుకొని ఉద్యోగం కోసం డిఎస్సి రూపంగా కనుకలు కాకుండా విజ్ఞానం పెంచే విధంగా ఉండాలి. అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం అట్మాస్ఫియర్ ఉండాలి. అట్మాస్ఫియర్తో పాటు సిబ్బంది కొడతా ఉంది, దాన్ని దృష్టిలో తీసుకొని చేస్తే ఫ్యూచర్లో బాగుంటుందని నా అభిప్రాయం.
సార్ మీ పేరు డిజిగ్నేషన్ చెప్పి పాస్ చేయండి.
నేను రేఖల భద్రాద్రి చైర్మన్, నల్గొండ జిల్లా.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
నా పేరు నిమ్మల శ్రీనివాసరావు, సూర్యాపేట జిల్లా గంగారం చైర్మన్. వాస్తవానికి తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం కొత్త జిల్లాలు ఏర్పాటు చేయడం జరిగింది. జిల్లా కేంద్రాల్లో కూర్చొని చదివేటందుకు బిల్డింగ్స్ లేవు. తర్వాత మోడర్న్గా లైబ్రరీ కావాలంటే ఫర్నిచరు, వారికి కావాల్సినటువంటి బుక్స్, దానికి సంబంధించిన ల్యాక్స్, బుక్స్ను భద్రపరచడానికి కూడా మనకు కావాల్సినటువంటి మెటీరియల్ కావాలి. అదేవిధంగా కంప్యూటర్ ఇస్తారని చెప్పేసి మా స్టేట్ చైర్మన్ గారు చెప్తా ఉన్నాను. ముఖ్యంగా వారికి కంప్యూటర్ ఆపరేట్ చేసి వచ్చేటటువంటి పాఠకులకు కావాల్సిన సబ్జెక్ట్ని అందించేందుకు అక్కడ కంపల్సరీ కంప్యూటర్ ఆపరేటర్ కావాలి. అదేవిధంగా వయసుతో నిమిత్తం లేకుండా గ్రంథాలయానికి వచ్చే విధంగా అన్ని రకాలైనటువంటి వ్యవసాయ సంబంధించిన కానీ కాంపిటేటివ్ కానీ మిగతా రోజు పాఠకులు వచ్చి పేపర్ చదువుకోవడం కానీ ఒక్కొక్క విభాగాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేసి, అదేవిధంగా మహిళలు కూడా ప్రత్యేకంగా ఈ మధ్యకాలం ఎక్కువ మహిళలు లైబ్రరీ రావడం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. వారి సపరేట్ ఒక విభాగాన్ని కూడా ఏర్పాటు చేసినట్లయితే ఇంకెక్కువ వాళ్ళ లైబ్రరీకి వచ్చి చదువుకునే అవకాశం ఉంది. కాంపిటేటివ్ కాకుండా ప్రతిదీ లైబ్రరీ పోతే చదువుకునే అవకాశం ఉంటుందని చెప్పి అన్ని వర్గాలకు ఉపయోగపడే విధంగా చేయాలి. ఆ కంప్యూటర్ కూడా మా పాత సంబంధించినటువంటి సబ్జెక్ట్ కూడా కంప్యూటర్ చేసేందుకు మేము అందరూ కూడా సహకరించాలని తెలియజేస్తాం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
నా పేరు ఉదయంగా రాజేందర్, భద్రాద్రి కొత్తగూడెం జిల్లా గ్రంథాలయ సంస్థ చైర్మన్. అన్ని ఏజ్ గ్రూప్ల వారికి పనికొచ్చే విధంగా దానికి సంబంధించిన రిలేటెడ్ సబ్జెక్ట్ బుక్స్, అదేవిధంగా ఇంకా కావాల్సినటువంటి ఫర్నిచర్ కానీ డిజిటలైజేషన్ ద్వారా ఉపయోగాలు ఉన్నప్పటికీ పాట జనరల్గా దాంతో కంటి జబ్బులు వస్తున్నాయని చెప్పి రీసెర్చ్ చేసిన వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నారు. దానికంటే కూడా బుక్స్ ఎక్కువగా ఏర్పాటు చేసి అన్ని వర్గాల ప్రజలకు అన్ని ఏజ్ గ్రూప్ల వాళ్ళను అట్రాక్ట్ చేసే విధంగా ఉంటే బాగుంటుందని చెప్పి ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ కూడా ఉండాలి.
కుర్చీలే బెంచ్లే కాకుండా మిగతా అన్నీ కూడా ఏర్పాటు చేస్తుంటే బాగుంటుందని చెప్పి మేము సూచిస్తాం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
సభకు నమస్కారం. నా పేరు కటారి చంద్రశేఖరరావు, నేను జగిత్యాల జిల్లా చైర్మన్. ఇప్పుడు భక్తుల పెద్దలందరూ మాట్లాడినట్టు మన తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఏర్పడిన తర్వాత తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రంలో ఉన్న 10 జిల్లాలకు బదులు 31 జిల్లాలు చేసి పరిపాలన సౌలభ్యం కొరకు ప్రజలకు అందుబాటులో తెచ్చినటువంటి మన ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారికి ఈ సభావేదిక నుంచి ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ, ముఖ్యంగా మన జిల్లా అధ్యక్షుడిగా డాక్టర్ శ్రీధర్ సార్ పదవి బాధ్యత చేపట్టిన తర్వాత మమ్మల్ని కూడా జిల్లాలకు గ్రంథాలయ సంస్థ చైర్మన్గా ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు నియామకం చేసిన తర్వాత మేము వాస్తవంగా కూడా చాలా ఉత్సాహంతో చిల్డ్రన్స్ నుంచి సీనియర్ సిటిజన్స్ వరకు కూడా అందరికీ ఈ గ్రంథాలయాన్ని అందుబాటులో ఉంచి అందరికీ అన్ని విధాల కంప్యూటరైజేషన్ కానీ ఇప్పుడు పెద్దలు చెప్పినట్టు కంప్యూటర్తో కొంత కళ్ళకు ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్న పుస్తకాల రూపంలో కానీ అన్ని రకాల సకల సదుపాయాలు చేసి మంచి సేవలు అందించాలనే దృక్పథంతో రావడం జరిగింది. మా రాష్ట్ర అధ్యక్షుడు కూడా వయసులో పెద్దవారైనా మంచి ఉత్సాహంతో పనిచేస్తున్నారు. కానీ ఇప్పుడు వీరందరూ చెప్పినట్టు బిల్డింగ్స్ విషయంలో కానీ ఫర్నిచర్ విషయంలో కానీ మెయిన్ అన్నిటికంటే ఉద్యోగస్తులు మ్యాన్ పవర్ లేని ఏది కూడా ఈ కాలంలో నడిచే అవకాశం లేదు కాబట్టి దాంట్లో చాలా ఇబ్బందికరమైన పరిస్థితి ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు మీరు కంప్యూటర్ అంటారు, మా దగ్గర జిల్లాలో కంప్యూటర్ ఆపరేటర్ లేదు. అంటే మేము వేదిక నుంచి మా రాష్ట్ర అధ్యక్షుడు గారిని కోరేది ఏంటంటే తక్షణమే మాకు డైరెక్టర్ గారిని అధ్యక్షుడు గారిని కోరేది ఈ 4-5 రోజులనే మాకు ఏమన్నా మేము ఆ కంప్యూటర్ ఆపరేటర్ నియామకం చేసుకునే విధంగా ఆదేశాలు ఇస్తారని ఈ సందర్భంగా మాకు అవకాశం వస్తుందని తెలియజేసుకుంటూ నాకు అవకాశం ఇచ్చిన సభకు మరొకసారి నమస్కారాలు తెలియజేసుకుంటూ సెలవు తీసుకుంటాను.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
నా పేరు ఆకునూరు శంకరయ్య సిరిసిల్ల. 20-30 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం కొన్నటువంటి పుస్తకాలు మాత్రమే అందులో ఉన్నవి. ఇప్పటి తరాలకు అవసరమయ్యేటువంటి పుస్తకాలు ఉండాలి. తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర చరిత్రకు సంబంధించినటువంటి అన్ని రకాల పుస్తకాలు ఉండాలి. పోటీ పరీక్షలకు తట్టుకునేటువంటి వేరైనటువంటి పుస్తకాలు కావాలి. ఇకపోతే మా దగ్గర తారపత్ర గ్రంథాలు ఉన్నవి, మరి వాటికి కొంచెము అది శిథిలావస్థలో ఉన్నవి. దానిలో ఉన్నటువంటి ఆ గ్రంథాల్లో నిక్షిప్తమైనటువంటి ఉన్న వాటిని కూడా కొంచెం వెలికి తీసుకెళ్తే బాగుంటుంది.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
నా పేరు బొగమని లక్ష్మయ్య, వనపర్తి జిల్లా గ్రంథాలయ చైర్మన్. సార్ మొట్టమొదలు అంటే మనకు స్వాతంత్రం దాకా మొదలు ఈ గ్రంథాల పైన ఒక విశిష్టత, ఒక ప్రాముఖ్యత, ఒక ప్రాధాన్యత ఉన్నటువంటి సందర్భం మనం చరిత్ర ద్వారా తెలుసుకున్నటువంటి విషయం. కానీ మనకు స్వాతంత్రం వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ గ్రంథాలయాల పైన పూర్తిగా నిర్లక్ష్యానికి గురైపోయినాయి. ఇప్పుడు గత కాలంలో ఉన్నటువంటి పుస్తకాలనే ఇప్పటి వరకు అదే పుస్తకాలను కొనసాగిస్తున్నారు. అదే కాకుండా ఆనాడు నిర్మించినటువంటి బిల్డింగ్లు కానీ గ్రంథాలయ భవనాలు కానీ ఆనాడు నిర్మించినటువంటి ఉన్నవి. కొత్తగా మరి ప్రభుత్వాలు ఏర్పడుకుంటూ వచ్చినప్పటికీ కూడా కొత్తగా గ్రంథాలయాలు నిర్మించలేకపోవడం జరిగింది. అదే క్రమంలో ఆనాడు నుండి జనాభా ప్రాతిపదికన అనుకోండి, ప్రజల యొక్క అవసరాలను దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని అనుకున్నటువంటి చిన్న చిన్న గ్రంథాలయాలను ఏర్పాటు చేయడం, దాన్ని ఈరోజు మరి విశాలమైనటువంటి స్థలాలు కానివ్వండి, మంచిగా సరైనటువంటి వాతావరణం కానివ్వండి కల్పించలేనటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో ఉన్నాం. మరి ప్రభుత్వ పరంగా ఈరోజు నిర్ణయాలు తీసుకొని ప్రతి జిల్లాకు ఒక నూతన గ్రంథాలయ భవనాలను మంచి స్థలాల్లో నిర్మాణం చేసి పాఠకులకు మరి అంటే వాళ్ళకు ఆహ్లాదకరమైనటువంటి వాతావరణంలో మంచిగా చదువుకోవడానికి అన్ని సౌకర్యాలు కల్పిస్తే బాగుంటుందని చెప్పి మా మనవి. అదే కాకుండా మరి ఈ ఇంతకుముందు మన మిత్రులు మొదలు చెప్పినట్టుగా ఫర్నిచర్స్ కానివ్వండి, మరి అదేవిధంగా ర్యాక్స్ పుస్తకాలు పెట్టడానికి ర్యాక్స్ కానివ్వండి, మరి అదేవిధంగా ఈ ఎలాంటి పుస్తకాలు ఉపయోగంలో ఉన్నటువంటి పుస్తకాలు ఉన్నటువంటి సందర్భంగా కొత్తగా పుస్తకాలను ఈనాడు ఉన్నటువంటి జనరేషన్ పనికి వచ్చేటువంటి పుస్తకాలు